Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas if you do celebrate Christmas. See, one of the things that I got from Jeff for Christmas is a Camp Half-Blood shirt. I can't... The Percy Jackson series is probably one of my favorite things. It's definitely up there for me with like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. My first time reading, like when I started reading the Percy Jackson books, I was in 6th grade. And that really solidified my love for Greek mythology. I was already really into Egyptian mythology, kind of into Greek mythology, but this really like made me truly fall in love with it. I also have a lot of like ties with it, like really good memories. Obviously my parents are no longer here, and I think that's what makes it much more special to me. I would rent out the books from our school library. So the only one that I ended up owning originally was the 5th book in the series. My sister and I had went to Walmart, and I remember seeing the 5th book and knowing that the school library didn't have it. So I called my mom and I asked if my sister bought it, if when we got home, they would pay her for it. Obviously, I was in 6th grade, so I didn't really have the money to do it. And they said yes. So she bought it, they paid her back, and I could read the book. That Christmas, I got this like the whole set of books, and 1 through 5, and it came in this like treasure chest with like different art of all of the characters and a map of Camp Half-Blood. I would read the books over and over again. I remember seeing my dad's face when I was opening that gift, how excited he was to give it to me. And then when the first movie, The Lightning Thief, came out, my dad was actually the one that took me to the movie theater to go and see it. I mean, I think it was a good movie, but I was a huge fan of the books, and I was disappointed, like many others, that it was so different than the book. So I really applaud the way that Disney is redoing the books into a series, because the storyline fits so much better. Anyways, if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button for me. I'm trying to get to 3,000 by the end of the year. I know it's not a lot of time at all. If you could help me out and share my channel to your family and your friends, I'd be so appreciative. I absolutely love making these videos. I love going on investigations. I love researching these things. Like, this stuff is truly my passion. The more like subscribers and the more my videos are watched allows me to do more for my channel. But with New Year's right around the corner, literally, I started thinking about New Year's traditions. And a big one in America is that the ball drops in New York City on New Year's Eve, or I guess New Year's Day at midnight. And then there's the midnight kiss. And that said that whoever you kiss on New Year's Day at midnight, you will be with for the entire year. And I know that there's some other ones that I'm not super familiar with. I know there's different like food related ones that are supposed to bring in prosperity, things like that, that are more like the southern part of the United States. But it got me to wonder what other people around the world do to ring in the new year. And apparently the importance of the color of your underwear matters on New Year's Day and New Year's Eve, which is something I would never even think about. Italy, it's actually tradition to wear red underwear to bring good luck, and that this tradition spans back to medieval times. And some South American countries, such as Brazil, Mexico, and Bolivia, hold the belief that your coming year's fortune is actually determined by the color of your underwear. Red would bring love, white brings peace, and yellow will bring wealth and luck. Then in Denmark, people will throw dishes at the doors of their loved ones. And I saw this and I was like, that seems like a really big mess. So does everyone go around after and clean it all up? I'm not really sure. I'm sure somebody cleans it up. Old dishes are saved all year. And when the clock hits midnight, people will run around their neighborhoods, throwing them against the doors of their family and friends. And the more broken pieces you have laying outside of your door means the more friends you have and the better luck you will have in the coming year. Then in Spain, there's this tradition of stuffing one's face with grapes. And this is both a mixture of luck and superstition. So you want to fit 12 grapes in your mouth, one for each stroke, to midnight. And this dates back to at least 1895. The tradition is said to lead to 12 months of good luck and prosperity, as long as you have 12 grapes in your mouth when it turns midnight. Which seems like a lot. Like, it kind of reminds me of that game, what is it, Chubby Bunny with the marshmallows? I feel like it's a choking hazard. Then in Romania, there's a tradition that dates back to an old Argarian superstition. And this is that you can talk to animals, but only on New Year's Day. That's the only time that animals are gifted this ability where we can understand them. But you don't want to talk to the animals, because if you can actually communicate with them, that's bad luck. Which I want to talk to animals, so I don't see how it could be bad luck. If you hear them, apparently your year will be filled with bad luck and it'll be horrible. But if you don't hear them, then the year ahead will be a good one. In Talca, Chile, there's a New Year's Eve tradition where residents will go to their local cemeteries for a sleepover. It's believed that their deceased loved ones come back to the graveyard to celebrate the year's end. And the townspeople will make this into a party by making fires and bringing meals, decorating the graves, and even setting up beds next to the graves. And they will sleep there. It's almost like in a long, a more in-depth version, maybe not as colorful though as like Dia de los Muertos. In Switzerland, there's a New Year's tradition to actually, on purpose, drop your ice cream on the ground. And this symbolizes an overflow of abundance in the coming year. In Colombia, people who want to travel in the upcoming year will grab their empty suitcase and run around the block as fast as they can with it when the clock strikes 12. And said that if they do this in the right spirit, that they are guaranteed to travel in the coming year. And then we go to Thailand. The New Year in Thailand actually happens in April, and it's celebrated by pouring water or smearing talcum powder on random people. The water is a way of showing people respect, and it symbolizes cleansing. And in some areas, people will actually go a step further and mix flowers and traditional perfumes in the water, which is kind of nice because then at least it smells good as they're spraying people that they don't know with it. But the talc is considered a blessing for the year ahead. And this celebration is actually referred to as Songkran, which comes from the Sanskrit word Samkranti, probably pronouncing that wrong, but it translates to astrological passage, transformation, and change. Then in Ecuador, when midnight strikes, people will go and light scarecrows that are decked in the faces of pop stars, pop culture figures, politicians, and various other icons on fire. And this is a symbolic cleansing that to kind of get rid of the bad from the previous year. So I'm assuming it's people that they're not a fan of. This tradition is said to date back to an 1895 yellow fever epidemic when people packed coffins with the clothing of the dead, and they would set them on fire as a symbol of purification. And last, we have Peru. In Peru, there is a festival called Takanakwai. Sorry, but it translates to when the blood is boiling. And these celebrations include brightly colored costumes, eating, drinking, music, dancing, and gathering around arenas to watch members of the community fight each other. This tradition is very inclusive. It includes all genders and all ages. And the festival is in hope to create stronger bonds with the community and solve conflicts. Kind of like a less extreme purge, I feel like. But the goal is to arrive at peace and wipe the slate clean for the upcoming year. If you have any New Year's Eve or New Year's Day traditions that were not included in this video, definitely drop them in the comments down below. I'd love to hear all about them. Honestly, I can't even remember. I usually don't stay up for midnight, especially after kids. I remember the first year I was allowed to stay up to watch the ball drop. And I did it with my sister. And I feel like I had a lot of energy. I feel like I was getting yelled at that night because I was very hyped up. Or if you have a New Year's resolution and you want to drop that down in the comments as well. I know that's a pretty popular one in America. We make resolutions for the upcoming year, what we want to accomplish, what we want to do better, what we want to do more of. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you're subscribed, like this video, and until my next one, I love you guys. Bye.